detailed preview for Death Stranding 2 on the beach was released. Video Game Chronicle went into as much detail about the game as possible and released a very long blog. Death Stranding 2 on the beach is set to release exclusively on PlayStation 5 during 2025. When we know the release date, I'll be sure to mention it on the gaming news. Did you play the first Death Stranding? Sony has increased its shareholding in Kadokawa. It's now the largest shareholder in Kadokawa with 10% of the holdings. Kadokawa is the owner of From Software and a massive media conglomerate in Japan. Previously, there was rumors that Sony was going to buy the entire company, but it seems like it's beyond their reach. Instead, they're now going for a strategic partnership to work collaboratively on their shared IP portfolios. Sony already owns the IP of Bloodborne, but hopefully this partnership will lead to a remaster or a sequel. What do you hope to see from the partnership between Sony and Kadokawa? SEGA is planning to make their own subscription service. The president of SEGA had an interview with the BBC where they spoke about making a subscription service which is modeled after Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. For now, it's just an idea at SEGA, but if it does materialize, I'll be sure to mention it on the gaming news. Which game from SEGA do you like the most? Cronos: A New Dawn is now available to be wishlisted on Steam. The game is being created by the Baldur team, who are the same developers behind the Silent Hill 2 remake. The game is set to release during 2025, but we don't know the release date yet. When we know the release date, I'll be sure to mention it on the gaming news. Are you interested in a game like Cronos: A New Dawn? Larian Studios have announced a stress test for patch 8 of Baldur's Gate 3. The stress test will be aimed at upcoming features such as crossplay. You can find a link to register for the stress test via Steam. The stress test will be made available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. It will not be made available for Mac users or people on GOG. When we know the release date for patch 8 of Baldur's Gate 3, I'll be sure to mention it on the gaming news. Which feature of Baldur's Gate 3 do you like the most? The PlayStation 5 Trailblazer edition for Honkai Star Rail has been announced. The Trailblazer edition will include a character card set, holographic chibi keychains, items for you to redeem in game, and more. The Trailblazer edition is set to release in the East on the 15th of January 2025 and will release in all other regions on the 31st of January 2025. Which character do you like the most in Honkai Star Rail? All the character banners for patch 5.3 for Genshin Impact have been announced. The 5-star characters Uvika and Lilali will be available at the launch of 5.3. In the second half of 5.3, the 4-star character Banyan will be made available. miHoYo also released an animated short film to show more of the backstories of the different characters. Patch 5.3 for Genshin Impact is set to release on the 1st of January 2025. Which character do you like the most in Genshin Impact? The release date for Wuthering Waves version 2.0 has been announced. Version 2.0 will introduce a new region, and the game will also be releasing on PlayStation 5. The developer of the game will be hosting a special broadcast to give a preview of our version 2.0 on the 21st of December 2024 at 11 AM UK time, which is 7 PM for mainland China. Version 2.0 of Wuthering Waves is set to release on the 2nd of January 2025. Which character do you like the most in Wuthering Waves? Disney has pledged interest in there being more Indiana Jones games. Initially, Lucas Games reacted positively to the launch of Indiana Jones: The Great Circle, and now Disney, who is the overall owner of the Indiana Jones IP, would like to see more games being made. When we get information about the sequel to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I'll be sure to mention it on the gaming news. What would you like to see from the sequel of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? miHoYo released a short film about the upcoming Zenless Zone Zero character, Hoshimi Miyabi. The short film shows the origin story of the character. Hoshimi Miyabi is set to be added to Zenless Zone Zero with update 1.4, which is scheduled to be released on the 18th of December 2024. Which character do you like the most in Zenless Zone Zero?